Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fancy YouTube and podcast channel. I'm Takoria, and I'm here today with Kasia, my mentee, and one of the Fancy ambassadors and Academy members. And today we wanted to talk to you a little bit about self esteem, but also about our big Fancy Expo that's coming up at the end of this month.
This year's expo will be highlighting self esteem. So, today we just wanted to get on here and talk to you all about our personal experiences with self esteem and how Fancy has kind of aided us in that journey. So, Korea, what do you think, or how would you define self esteem?
I think for me, self-esteem sort of comes from having a lot of self-respect and like knowing that I can do something on my own and like being able to like prove that to myself.
Yeah, I totally agree. I definitely think that self esteem means different things for different people. But for me, I know that it means being confident in myself and knowing that basically what you said, knowing that I can do anything I really put my mind to. And that's why I think I've had such success with being in Fancy all these years because I think that's something that Fancy really promotes throughout all of their programs, whether it's the Leadership Academy or the Ambassador program. I think that it's really, all the programs are really promoting self-esteem. And because I believe that the more self-esteem you have, the farther you can go in the world. Because self-esteem, it's really just being confident. You need the confidence to step out there, do what you want to do, chase your dreams, all this and all that. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds super accurate. And I know I was only in Fancy for a short amount of time, but during that year that I was there for my senior year of high school, I definitely learned a lot of stuff that helped me transition into college and made me a much more confident person. Like I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be walking onto a campus not knowing anyone, but there were like thousands of other people there, but I felt very secure in myself. And I think that's something that's really important for young girls to have.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I know how you said you were only in Fancy for a short amount of time, but the 1 year you were in Fancy was our last expo.
Yeah,
So and I know you were a recipient of a scholarship,
yes, I was.
right? So can you kind of like talk about that for girls that have maybe never been to the expo or girls that will be going to this year's expo, which is virtual, and we'll talk about that later.
So for me, I was actually able to go to the expo twice, which was awesome. So I went 2018 expo and the 2019 expo as a fancy girl in the academy. So I think being at the expo in 2018 was definitely sort of scary because I didn't know anyone. But by the end of the day, I had made like 20 friends, and I've never had 20 friends in my life. I've definitely always been like, I have my small group of friends. I'm very off to the side by myself. But that expo definitely taught me so many things. And we were only there for a few hours. So that sort of made me join Fancy. And then joining Fancy, going like having that expo my senior year, I got a scholarship, which was awesome. It helped me pay for school. I was able to help mentor other girls that are younger than me, like in middle school, transitioning into high school. And I think if I had had that, and if I had gone to the Fancy Expo earlier in my life, I would be, I don't know, I probably would have learned a lot more about myself and a lot more confidence before I did.
Yeah, I think I could totally relate to that. I think the last expo, the one in 2019, was the best one. That
I
one
think
was
so.
super, super fun. Like you said, I know a couple people there because I was friends with some of the girls in the academy, but by the end of the day, I had so many new friends, new bonds. I even was able to make new bonds with the girls that were in the academy with me, but I was still kind of new then. But by the end of the day, we're thick as thieves. It was just so fun, like being a part of the background, setting up, welcoming the girls. And it was just like all around a fun day. Like, and lunch was great. I just had to add that. We were able to perform dances, there was vendors, and just seeing everybody come out and really have a good time was something that I definitely shouldn't have taken for granted, but because now, we don't have that. But this year's expo is hopefully going to live up to that name. We're so excited for it. We have some great things planned for you all.
Since we're on the topic of the 2019 Expo, I just sort of want to say that this year's Fancy Expo is going to be on April 23rd and 24th. We have activities planned for 2 days instead of just one, which is so awesome. It's great to see so much growth happening. And it's from the actual expo is on the 24th, that Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's all virtual via Zoom.
Yes, and on the 23rd, we will be having a Fancy Friday as kind of an introduction into the expo. So the 23rd, that Fancy Friday is going to be hosted by the new ambassadors for this year, and it's going to be super fun and engaging. The girls are going to be able to sort of pick their own breakout rooms, which are based on topics that we got from a survey. So I think that being able to pick your own breakout room makes it more kind of personal because you really get to talk about what's important to you. So the Fancy Friday on the 23rd will be from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. It'll be a great way for you to kind of get excited for the next day's expo and meet some new girls and, just have a good conversation.
And I think we should mention that all of these activities on that weekend are free. This year's expo is going to have live performances from the Fantasy Academy girls, some really cool guest speakers talking about what it's like to be a first generation college student and going all the way up and getting your PhD and getting your doctorate. And I think that's so inspirational and so cool, especially for some young girls out there. And then also a workshop on mental health, which is definitely one of the most important things right now, especially during COVID times, where you can definitely learn things about yourself and how to cope with what's going on in the world.
Make sure you go down in the description below and read for the link to register. We hope to see you there. The first 100 girls that come to the fancy office on April 18th will be able to receive a free swag bag with a shirt to wear during the expo and some other free goodies. We hope you enjoyed this short little mini podcast about the expo and self-esteem, and make sure you tune in next week for more content. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.